My name is Terri Messenger, and I am a...
Hey, and welcome to Terri Messenger's Genius Zone. And, this is the place and the space where you are going to get your own free masterclass absolutely free.
Welcome to Edge Radio Australia. It is time for one of the absolute highlights of the week. I'm going to talk it right up. This show is going to be an absolute dead set classic, I feel. I've got that feeling in my bones. It is great to have everybody on board. It's the Genius Zone here in Edge Radio Australia, and my lovely co-host, it's Terri Messenger. Don't shoot her.
Don't shoot the
Don't
messenger.
Shoot the messenger. No,
Don't shoot. Oh, you might shoot me after this one.
After this one. Oh, we're going to hit some controversials. The subjects you talk about quietly. Yes, quietly. Right.
So don't have your mum in the room.
Yes.
However, look, I do want to say, I want to do a big emphasis before we bring on this absolute legend. And this is going to be a really controversial subject, but one where we always know in the Genius Zone that if we bring on a guest, it's because they have conquered. Okay, so they have conquered. And, there are people out there suffering all sorts of different things. We've all got our own problems. We've all got our own addictions, and we all have our own cross to bear. And in this case, this particular lady, who is very, very, very clever. She's an absolute incredible saleswoman. She's been in the world of influencing very high-level CEOs. Okay. And so she understands the art of communication. And a part of that art, Aaron, is being very honest. So she's the queen of honesty, and she is the queen of art of communication in terms of being assertive and also healing your wounds no matter what. So in this case, her experience before we bring her on is that she got caught up in her own little scenario that she was chasing for her own gratification. So there was something missing in her life, and she used this as, I guess, a way to fulfill a need. But she was a people pleaser. So when you're looking across the board, she was that wonderful person that loves, pleasing people, but she also sought out through having affairs.
Well, look, being a people pleaser does make you vulnerable, right? And we all act out in different sort of ways. So this is interesting. I think this is a really interesting angle. This is something that we don't talk about. But let's be honest, it is a very big part of life. It's part of a lot of people's lives. So I'm looking forward to hearing more.
So let's get behind the mindset of what makes us do what we do. And let's also get behind the art of assertive communication and the Ho'oponopono ritual. That is a forgiveness method together with emotional freedom technique, which she helps other people in her life. So with no further ado, let's bring all the way from Germany, the beautiful Beate. And come on down.
Come on down. Lovely to see you there.
Hello, nice to meet you, and thank you. I was never introduced as the queen, so
Hey,
You
take
are
it.
now.
We are now your subjects. Check that out. Like, how good's that?
Yeah, you are the queen of honesty and communication, because you know what it's like to have to face up. Now, obviously, if we address the elephant in the room straight up, really, are we allowed to go and hit below the waist here and say, what the big issue was that you were undertaking? Or should we go back to childhood days to where you just didn't fit in? I'm not sure where we should start. Where do you think would be a good place, Beate?
I think it would be a good way. So first of all, if I'm allowed, I would like to say my name one time
Okay.
in the right pronunciation, because I know it's a difficult name for foreign languages, but I like to hear it one time.
Oh yes, I will give it my best shot. Go ahead.
Yeah, you did your best shot. Of course you did, and we tried to learn it yesterday. So my name is Beate. And Beate, yes, correct. And
Now,
I think
Beate.
Beate.
Beate. Yeah,
It's
Beate.
getting better. Beate.
getting closer?
Beate.
Now, myself, I take this very seriously because I go out into the world every day and try and teach the word Porsche. It's Porsche. It's not Porsche. It's Porsche.
Yes.
If you get that name, say it properly.
Yes. I am actually rolling the letters there because I have a friend from Russia and I always rolled her name
roll
too.
away.
So Beate, say your last name.
It is Rothäuser.
Rothäuser.
I'll leave that to you. Beautifully
Yeah.
done.
There we are. Now we've got the niceties out the way. I have to tell you, from a clinical hypnotherapist point of view, though, it is really important to get the person's name right. Otherwise, the subconscious won't listen.
Really?
True.
Did not know that.
True story. It'll switch off. Yeah. So anyways, away you go. You were going to answer my question about where to start. Rome, Paris, or London?
I think it is better. It is better to start in the childhood, because this leads to my adulthood. So when I was a child, I was always a girl who never felt she belonged. So when there was a party, I was not invited, or when I was invited, I was standing behind the crowd or near the crowd, but not in it, let me say. And I had a real it's not a scary, but it's a real experience I had learned recently with a former pupil I was in school with. And he said, Beate, it was so nice. You had your homework every day and I could write your homework. I was known, even in my childhood, for being the nice lady or the nice girl, trying to please everyone. And this relates to my story. So this is what I experienced, and I tried to fit in every time and did what I thought is right to fit in the other messes.
Okay. So it's a need to fit in. That you're sort of saying it's an insecurity.
It's a thing.
There, right?
It is a thing.
Yeah.
It's like smoking cigarettes.
Okay.
You know, like when I was a teenager, I remember the boy that I fell madly in love with, and I actually married him too. Can you believe that? And he smoked. Right. And I thought he was so cool, and he was so super cool. So I really, really, really wanted to smoke.
Right.
Just to fit in.
I don't get that, but okay. Fine,
but so people do things, Aaron. Come on. Did you never do anything to fit in? No, he's so confident.
Not really. No, I'm far more of a hold my beer kind of guy, or challenge accepted. You know what I mean? Like, I suppose that is the same sort of thing.
You were a goody-goody when you grew up.
Yeah, sure. Let's work on that one.
I reckon you're living your teenage life now.
No, I've done it all backwards, but that's all right. That's okay. But it is interesting, though. But I'll spin this the way that I feel it sort of said. Okay, if you're insecure or, you don't feel you fit in, you do things to try and fit in, right? And maybe the flip side of it is if you are rather confident, you still want to fit in. So then you maybe do outlandish things or wild things. So what I'm getting at is no matter what personality type we've got, we just ultimately we do want to
We
fit in.
do.
We want to be that piece of
absolutely
Lego
do.
that we want to go click with somebody. Yeah.
But if I can say this, and I think you'll understand exactly where I'm coming from, because Beate is this incredible coach who has some fabulous tools in her kit to help people break from their old ways, which she has done in this way.
Okay.
And, you know, really, there's a method where you start doing something because the subconscious mind wants to have a higher purpose. So in this case, we're talking about fitting in.
Yeah, of course we are.
So
Absolutely.
we want to belong. We want to be valued. So when we do what we think is right to fit in, then guess what? It becomes a habit. It becomes an unconscious competency where we then get stuck. But anyway, I'll let you roll out the rest of the story, Beate. I'm sure you know where this is going better than we do.
Yeah, but as I listened to your short conversation, I really was thinking it's in everyone. So it's really everyone wants to fit in, and it is not that everyone has is brought up with self-confidence. So it is also dependent on the environment you are growing up, and your parents, how they support you or hand over tasks, for example, or what I also learned is how to celebrate your wins. So even it's a small one. So I couldn't celebrate my wins. For example, in the past, I ran a half marathon a few years ago, and it was everyone said about it, that's really great. You did a half marathon. And I said, yeah, it's nothing for me. It's nothing special, I have to say.
It just comes naturally. You do it in your sleep.
Yeah.
So when I started working with my mentor, I realized, okay, it's really important to celebrate small wins, even if you don't think it's a great achievement. Celebrate small wins, like so for me it will be, I celebrate after we are finished here, I will celebrate that I did my first radio show in English. So I would have never guessed that I will be part of an English radio
show. You could have done it in German. Absolutely, there wouldn't be a problem there. I mean, sure, we wouldn't have had a lot of input, but you know, wouldn't it be a great show?
We could probably still do some input.
Yeah,
actually, you can talk underwater, Aaron.
Absolutely,
and you reckon I can too. So
exactly.
We can always make up German, you know, German. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not my mother tongue, so it's a more higher hurdle to go through than do it in German.
Yes, absolutely. So obviously you are a reformed person who is a reformed people pleaser. Let's just say that.
Yes.
And part of being a reformed people pleaser is that you decided to get kind of hooked up, for a better way of saying it, with having love affairs outside of your relationship. Can you talk us through that?
Yes, of course I can. So when I was an adult, so I tried to fit in the companies I worked for. So I did also there everything for everyone. When a colleague asked for a favor, I said, yes, I can do it. I can stay longer, whatever the person was asking for. But I realized something was missing. And then I thought, okay, perhaps I try to engage with men, and they gave me recognition because it felt nice. I think everybody likes it when he or she gets flattered. And
very good. You give it a go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone can say he likes it, but then some people stop at one point, and I didn't, because the first was, let me say, a try. What will happen when I do it? And back then, my previous boyfriend didn't realize what I did, so I got used to it, because in my relationship I didn't talk with my boyfriend about my feelings, so I started having affairs to get there what I didn't got in the relationship, and thought, okay, it would be nice, I'm appreciated, I get loved, let me say. And it was my new normal. having affairs. So, and over the
So
time,
it actually becomes like a normality thing. It's not just a case of, you know, you're in a relationship, you're missing this very big thing that you're not actually getting, and then somebody else gives it to you, so you find yourself. This is actually where it became a habit and addiction. Is that what you're saying?
yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's like smoking or drinking coffee or whatever you are doing in your free time. It's similar to that. It's exactly the same habit as I think everyone has a habit, which we know it's not that good for us, but we do it anyway.
And I mean, let's face it, when we do something sneaky like we smoke, you know, especially if you're a teenager, or you do something sneaky anyway,
it feels
it's
naughty.
kind of fun.
Naughty is good.
It's sort of,
we like a bit of that,
I mean, everybody's going to have a different way of having fun, whether it is, you know, a little bit of a sneaky happy hour like we're having here now.
We are.
You know, or, you know, so really, I mean, this is a very unique topic. And look, I have to say kudos to you for actually being prepared to talk about it. And let's talk about now, you know, where you decided to can the idea of it and what you realized. And obviously, you know, the fact that you are now reformed. And are you with the guy that you were actually cheating on with?
Okay, a lot of questions.
I know, right? About 5.
That's totally fine. I said I want to talk about the topic, so I have to deal with the questions now.
You open the door, okay? We just shoved our foot in there. That's all.
Yeah, but I think it's a topic no one talks about. So I'm really present or regularly posting on LinkedIn, and also started on Instagram, and I have never seen someone talking openly about that. So when I was ready, I just wrote a post and was thinking, oh God, my gosh, what will happen? But nothing happened. So the people, they
didn't
still
combust.
Yep, that's right.
Nothing happened. So the world is still alive. And so I because I solved the issue for myself. So to come to your first question, Terri, one day I realized, okay, what do I want to do? Is this really how I want to live in the future? Do I want to? So it's also my working life. My working life was also affected. Do I really want to work in environments where I feel I didn't belong? And do I want to continue with having affairs? So this is the question one day I asked myself. And then you can start thinking, or I started thinking, okay, I have to change something. And I started working on myself. So, and this is what most people try to avoid, and what I also avoided a really long time, because it's not nice to to work on yourself, let me say. So
no,
it's not so bad, but it's a little boring, but yeah.
A little boring.
It sounds like your life's not that boring. I mean, I don't know. That could be fun to work on.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yes. So you worked on yourself.
Yes, I worked on myself, because in the past I blamed the guy. So for example, I blamed the guy. It's his fault.
Of course it's his fault, yes.
Oh, here comes one of my great comments. As far as I say this so often, and I'm told I'm a misogynist about this, right? Okay. The man who surrounds himself with wonderful women, but never mind. Here is my problem, and I'm going to lay it out here, a bit of honesty here. So many, I would say almost all women, definitely most women, completely fail self-responsibility and accountability. That's the truth. And most women blame men for all of their problems.
Is that a generic thing?
I'm taking it to the grave. That's how
You're
I honestly.
Taking that to the grave.
I've lived long enough.
That's a generalisation.
Yes, and I love a good generalisation.
You do.
But I just wish women would be more accountable. And I don't want to be. It's certainly not an attack on you. It's just a reality that unfortunately, blaming the man is often the default setting.
But we all do it though, Aaron, because you think about it, right?
Yep.
You know, it's a normal thing. You either blame yourself or you look for blame. I don't know what it is about human beings, but we need to have a why. Why did that happen?
Agree.
And we need to have a blame game, you know? Who can I blame?
But this is the difference in society when we change things and when you grow as a person. Like personal growth means, guess what? Pick up the mirror and have a look, and then look at your behavior and make the adjustments. And a lot of people just will never ever pick up that mirror.
But you know, the fact is that this is where Beate has done this, because when you pick up the mirror and you look at yourself and you go, wow, look at me, yuck. No. Or, you know, when you actually look at yourself and you take on that role of responsibility. And I think this is probably one of the first breakthroughs you may have had, where you asked yourself all those right questions. So do you feel there was a part in that little segment of working on yourself where you actually found that you had to take responsibility? Just to add to my extra lot of questions.
It's quite a list.
I don't know when this happened, so there was no particular reason why I started questioning myself. There was, I can't recall a specific situation or something like that. Maybe it happened too quickly. So over the time, also my job switches were getting closer and closer, and this was a reason I thought, okay, this is I have to look at myself, because I also blamed often the company that it didn't work out. So
you went for broke.
So you were very popular at office parties. Gotcha. Okay, no worries. No, I tease, and I don't want to be that guy. I want to compliment you. The fact that you are sitting here right now having this conversation means you've done the growth. Like means you've questioned yourself. So it's certainly not pointed that way. It's actually admiration, because most people will not do it.
Yeah. So you're reformed. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, and this also shows me, okay, because as it is now nice to talk about topic, I also blame myself, of course. I blame myself for doing it. But when I started questioning myself and I started to work with a mentor, I learned specific techniques. And I think, Terri, this was also part of one of your questions. What helped me to overcome this situation? So Absolutely. I learned about my mentor first introduced me to the whole. I'm sorry, I don't. Maybe someone is listening who can pronounce it correctly.
It's a Hawaiian ritual. Actually, we thought it was Maori, didn't we? We thought it was a New Zealand thing, but it's a ho'oponopono. Yeah, it's very difficult to say, but it is a ritual in Hawaii with forgiveness, about forgiveness.
Cool. Okay.
And there are 4 stages of it. Would you like to take us through the questions that we asked ourselves?
First, before you, of course, the most important thing is you have to be open for that, because I also practices with my clients, and when you are not open for it, it can't help you. So this is the most thing. You have to be curious, and you have to answer the questions, and then be open to go through the ritual. So first thing is you answer specific questions. So whom do you want to forgive for example? So you name a person you want to forgive. It can be another person or yourself. Cool. And then you say for what situation. So we do it on an example I think most people can relate. You had a bad conversation with one of your co-workers. So you say, okay, name is whatever. I had a discussion with my co-worker where I said something I didn't want to say, or he blamed me for something, for example. And then you think about, okay, how much does it weigh on my shoulders? So you put in you say, okay, it weighs 100 kilograms or 1,000 or whatever, to give it a weight that you are aware of how heavy that is. And then you start the ritual and you go through 4 phrases. It's the phrases are: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And you do this several times, and you go deeper and deeper. And also there is a song about this. I told Terri about it. I can't listen to this song.
No?
I've got to play it on the radio after this. I'm joking.
Really?
No, I'm
I can do it.
tell Aaron what happens whenever you listen to it.
So what song is it? You don't. Well, maybe you don't have to tell me. It's up to you.
The song is from the unmet sisters.
Oh, don't want to miss a thing. Don't want to miss a thing.
No, it's not. Don't want to miss a thing.
Oh, good. Because every time I hear that song, I just want to cry because I hate it so much. Yeah, it makes me feel ill. So okay, no, it's another song. All right.
Yeah, so the song is called Ho'oponopono from the Unmet sisters. So you are a radio station, I think you will find it.
Might be a bit of a hunt.
He's curious
we'll
now.
I admit,
but yeah, apparently, Beate cries every time she hears it. So yes, but it obviously triggers you.
Yeah.
And that is a very relevant. So for those listeners out there, if you've written down this is a methodology, and it's a very powerful methodology. And that brings me to, speaking about, like, you are what I call very congruent. One thing with NLP, they say that when people are suffering, usually, if you want to generalize,
I do.
It is incongruence. Okay. You are incongruent about something. So you're not something's not quite lining up. And the fact that you've owned this and the fact that you are speaking about it is not only congruent, but, there's that element too that I believe we need to share here with viewers, because it might not be their addiction in terms of this, but I'm sure everybody's out there has got an addiction. But it's also being accountable. Do you want to talk us through that? So being accountable and being assertive. There I go again with my 2 questions. So whichever one comes first, roll away.
So the most important thing is you have to be aware of your patterns. So it is not, you can't change yourself, let me say, overnight. So today I decide I don't want to be this lady anymore. I want to change something in my life. It takes time. And you really have to be aware, when do you do specific things, and what can you do instead? So for me, it was not that I did the Ho'oponopono and then everything changed after that. But it changed my inner feeling in how I want to act in the future. So I sat also down and did journaling, and I realized, okay, which patterns trigger me? What can I do when there is the need to seeking attention on the outside? And it's small steps, because I'm also not the person who is I want fast results, but in this regard, it's not possible. So it really takes time, and it's small steps, and sometimes you are going back. For example, when I had my last affair, at one point I said, okay, I don't want to have contact with this guy anymore. I wrote him a message saying, I don't want to have contact anymore. 2 days later, he contacted me again, and then it took me really a long time to block him.
Yeah, but okay. Honestly, is a text really a rejection? Come on. It's a soft way of doing it. I just actually want to make attention to Lisa, who's come up with a fantastic question here. Yes. And this is to do with the particular program that you guys were talking about. The one I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. Now, can this pattern be repeated through a person's lifetime? I think that's a great question. Thanks, Lisa.
Yes. So yeah, you got that question. I tend to feel that, you know, patterns can and are repeated over lifetimes. In fact, they even get passed down through generation. And I'll hand over to you in a minute, Beate. My personal thoughts as a person who does a lot of timelining is that, yes, they are definitely something that can sit there dormant. However, if what you've done, like what Beate's done, and you do the work and you release it, especially when you're releasing it in such a way that you're removing it from the subconscious mind, you don't relate to it anymore. It's like, you know, I quit smoking when I was 22 years old. It's like, how old was I when I started? And the fact is that, you know, thank God, you know, it felt very soon after like I'd never smoked a day in my life. And that's really what needs to be done. But the question I would have that would help Lisa and also Beate is, did you have to face what it was that you were searching for that triggered that pattern? So in other words, if you were missing, if the guy, for example, was giving you a special feeling, you know what I mean? Like he was fulfilling something deep within you that you lacked.
I've had girls give me that special feeling. They're keepers.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Did you need to do that? Was that part of the process?
Yes, that's part of the process, because when you do something, it's like I think it's a good comparison. Like smoking, you have a feeling when you grab your cigarette, there is a specific feeling why you want to smoke at that moment, and it's really important to find out what your emotion in that situation is and what is your need behind that. Because maybe you smoke while you are bored, for example. Then you can ask yourself, I'm bored. What do I need? I need some excitement. Let me say, the excitement is for some cigarette, but you can also do better things than smoking. If you need some excitement, you can go for a walk, for example, if that excites you. So it's really, and a lot of people, or where I grew up, emotions were not that we talked about it in my family. If, for example, when I was a child and I cried, my parents said, okay, no need to cry, just get over it. And I said to Terri, am I allowed to say it here? Yes. She said, yes, get the shit done.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Can I ask a little clarification here? Because, and this is actually twofold. Now, Lisa's question, can the pattern be repeated through a person's lifetime? Now, I was thinking of that from the pattern of going through the process of reconciliation with yourself effectively.
I see,
But
yes.
I'd love to ask if Lisa can clarify that. Are we talking about the repeating the actual process of the habit? Is that what you're suggesting?
Like you're asking whether Lisa means repeating the habit itself or the actual methodology, like the technique.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So,
Curious to know.
Yeah, let's see if Lisa comes back.
Yep.
I believe that you can never work on yourself enough. So once you do, you may find that there's always layers. So underneath the layer that you deal with, there'll be another layer. And, you know, it's a matter of being able to, yes, if that was the question, you can, and I would highly recommend that you use the one technique for as many things as you want to use it for. And that's the beauty of it. But can we just kind of sidestep for a second here, just because we're running out of time, onto the emotional freedom technique and how this helps, you know, our listeners if they've got problems with anger, or they have got problems with some emotional, when you suddenly get really peeved off with someone, they've ticked you off, oh my goodness, and and then you're thinking about it and thinking about it and ever have that?
Oh, just
and
like
then
every day.
And then you start making up big movies, and then next thing you know, it's like a box office smash. Yeah,
it's like you're reading my mind right now. But there we go.
So we make things bigger than Ben-Hur. That's what I'm saying. So, Beate, are you able to take us through? Just because we're obviously radio, so they can't see us. We're not going to ask for a demo, but how it works and what emotional freedom technique is all about, and how you help your clients with it.
Yes, of course. So as I said, it's important to recognize our feelings, and of course, when you start recognizing your feelings, you also start to recognize, I have bad feelings too. It's not that I always in a fun mode. So when you realize a bad feeling, like Terri said, anger, for example, it's important to accept this feeling. The emotional freedom technique is not that you avoid anger or negative emotions. It's that you accept the feeling and transfer it into a positive emotion that you can go forward and learn from that negative feeling. So it's a technique. You do 3 rounds, and you name the feeling. The first thing is naming the feeling. And then you say, okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much affects me this feeling? For example, if I'm angry, I give it a 9, because when I'm angry, I'm really angry. It's not that I'm a little bit angry, I'm really angry. So I say, okay, it's 9.
Do it well.
Do it well.
You own it.
Then it starts with closing your eyes, and then you start tapping on your collarbones, the crown of your head, above your eyebrows, your nose, and some other body parts. You tap them. It helps you to regulate the nervous systems. And while you are tapping, you say specific sentence. So it changes from round to round. So first you say, okay, even if I'm angry, I love and accept myself. And you do this tapping while you are speaking that sentence. And then in round 2, you start changing the negative emotion into a positive one. And in the last round, you say, okay, I'm no matter what, I choose happiness. And I feel lightness. I'm free, for example. So, and it's really, for me, it's also a really good technique. When I'm angry, normally I take it with me for the next few days to stop this, to break this cycle, because then you can use your energy for positive stuff and not blaming other people for your situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so go on.
Great regulation too for the nervous system. You're regulating your nervous system. You're basically doing self acupuncture.
Okay.
And it does work. I can tell you it does work. I actually really underestimated it, to be honest. I don't know why, but I underestimated it. But, it's what you've just said is beautiful, because, yes, you've got to face up to it, get with the program. This is what I'm feeling. But even though I'm feeling this, and you may start off with a karate chop. Usually they say the karate chop, so even though I'm feeling this and this and this and this, and then you go to the top of the head and you work your way down. Okay. I truly love and accept myself. And by actually tapping through the meridians, the specific meridians, and you can look them up, and totally advise to do that. But, to really conclude, because I think we're ready to wrap up here. Gosh, time flies when you're having fun. By. And I just want to really bring to the, essence of what you do, the art of assertive communication. And I mean, you are assertive by the fact that you've been able to own what you do and say, well, that was then, this is now. Talk to us through, talk to the listeners about why and how we can become more assertive with our communication and why it's so important.
So it means to also talk about the negative things, so not to avoid negative conversations. So I also always say to my clients, because one wanted to start a conversation with, it's really nice that we meet today, and it was not that she was happy about the conversation. And I said to her, is that really what you want to say? Do you feel that a nice conversation? And she said, no, she is nervous about the conversation. And I said, please go into the conversation saying, I'm nervous because of this and that. So for me, it's most become aware of your emotions and your needs, and tell the other person, I need this and that, or I have to cancel, for example, with friends. If you don't want to meet in the evening, don't say I have a headache when you don't want to join. You can, if it's true friends, you can say, today I want to relax on my couch and don't meet, and they will understand. And it really helps you to grow also the environment you want to be in, because negative people will go, therefore new people will come. And I also realized this, because I say, okay, not this evening, maybe another time, but I want to be for myself today. So it's and it's also, you can set, I also speak about that really often, you can set boundaries for yourself and being kind. It doesn't mean that you have to be harsh setting a boundary. You can really be saying, okay, not today, maybe tomorrow, or I can't take over this task right now. Please give it, we can talk about this next week or whatever. And for me, it's really helpful to have some of these phrases at hand. So in case someone is asking, you have the phrase at hand, because it also takes practice. It's all about, sorry to say that, practice.
It's true. How often do we do it though? We make up a fake excuse because we just don't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, and when you've got really close friends, particularly, you can say, "Hey, no, just not tonight. I'm knackered.
Or,
I can't.
It's not my gig. I don't want to do it."
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to be that way, I mean, I've got a daughter who's like that, and everybody thinks she's, very, right field, left field, whichever way. But it's because she says what. She says what's on her mind, and I guess it's the line, but I'm hearing what you're saying, because it's the practice art of being honest, which is why I called her the Queen of Honesty.
There you go.
And
there you go.
Yeah.
I actually like this fact. Okay, I like the fact that you can. This is what I take from this, very much so. You can reinvent yourself. It's okay to do so.
Yeah.
It is okay to close
I do it every morning.
Do you really? There you go.
I'm a different person every day. Didn't you notice? Every time I walk in here?
As a guy who's been married a couple of times, I've got a great line or three on this, but I'm not going to go there. No, I think we go through different phases of life. Look, why would you want a wife who's bipolar? Like, she's got enough personality as is, right? Anyway, but no, but you are able to go through the different stages of your life and leave the old one behind. And maybe if you didn't morally or emotionally or whatever, want to be attached to that life anymore, then dump it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ghost it. Move on.
Have a new personality and have a new reality.
Yeah.
So you've got to change your reality, and it's not about changing your values, because your values, really what we're doing, I believe, is we're getting closer and closer all the time. So your subconscious mind, for example, Beate, thought that you were getting closer when you were doing what you were doing in that addiction cycle, seeking out other men and things like that. But then when you discovered what it was that was missing, that turned everything around. And I do have to say that's pretty amazing, if you ask me.
Here's my opinion. This has been far too productive. We've been far too positive. I wanted to talk about the naughty stuff, and I've missed out.
Oh, he wanted to get into the nitty-gritty.
Yes,
So are you going to come back on the show again and give us the nitty-gritties?
Yeah, if I'm invited to another show,
You're very
then
welcome.
I
Yes.
come, of course.
We will come in and we'll just go on straight on the attack from the word go. It'll be fantastic. Great radio.
Yes.
Not great for your emotions, but otherwise great, you know. Now, I really appreciate it. And I tease and we joke about these things, but to show up is a big part of it. And to show up and to own your shit.
Yes.
Okay. Good on you.
And may I just add to that too, that you can understand that with this kind of very sensitive topic, no, you don't have to contact Beate to go into a big program where everybody admits that they are a serial, having love affairs. You can contact her directly, personally, privately, and confidentially, and overcome it. And then guess what? You can then be a legend like Beate, speak your truth, and
absolutely.
I was going to say come out of the closet, but that wasn't.
No.
That was not what I meant.
Now, during the show, I've actually seen that a lot of comments have been coming in actually from other platforms, which we sadly can't see. So if I can recommend to people that the platforms come through mostly is good old YouTube. So if you subscribe and you like there and all that, so do all the YouTubey things, that is a great way of getting your conversation through. And also it's a great way of having a fake alias too if you want to ask questions that you're not comfortable with.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because there's always these fascinating questions that I find later during the week that have come through channels we can't see. So, sticking to the biggies through Facebook. And YouTube's the best because, quite frankly, it's there forever. It's not like 30 days with Facebook.
Yes, that's right. And we will be updating this. This will go to the Podcast Genius Zone Friday night and Edge Radio for the pizza reheat. Are we still reheating
We are
pizza?
still reheating the pizza.
I don't even want to reheat. I just want to eat it cold.
Oh, no.
I like cold pizza.
No, you're one of those.
I do. Yes, I am one of those.
We used to be friends. No,
Really?
No.
I'm going to get you to test it out.
You can chuck it in the air fryer. Come on. What are you, a heathen?
Oh, he knows I've got an air fryer. Yeah. Hey, Beate, thank you so very much. You're amazing. And thank you for your
absolute
honesty.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for being part of the show here. Now, what is the name of the show? I almost said something silly there.
The Genius Zone.
Here on Edge Radio Australia.
Show where we have explored through this various topic along with all the exciting new topics that we bring every week to enhance your personal mastery of excellence. Now, I'd love you to do me a favor. In fact, be part of the legacy 1 million that I have in the vision for 2028. If you know someone who really would benefit from this recording, from this episode, please share it with them. And when you subscribe, you get notified every week of our episode as soon as it drops. So let's do that legacy thing. Let's share, let's care, let's enrich. And I look forward to bringing you another week of the most enriching content. So until next time, stay inspired, stay awesome, and keep on mastering your excellence.